Welcome in to episode 21 of For What It's Worth. I am your host, Calvin Silvers. I am here with Tyrone Thornton. No Eric Kelgren today. That's all right. Me and Tyrone have a great show for you too. But before we dive into the NFL and what the matchups are going to be for the playoffs, Tyrone, it's been a while. How have you been, man?
Taking in the new year and enjoying this free time and I guess getting to feel what it's like to be in an Arctic environment because I'm just surrounded by snow and just been in the house all day, all week, to be honest.
Yeah, for those that have not picked up yet through listening through our episodes, we are located around the Kansas City area, so we got hit with a bunch of snow. 16 inches reported around my area. I'm not sure what your totals were, Tyrone, but yeah, it's been, we have really felt like we are living in Antarctica. I thought I had to get, my dog Eno and get a sled and tie myself. Ever pull me out there, but so far so good. But yeah, hopefully you're staying warm or at least trying to.
I'm trying to. I just literally been in the crib all day. I've had this sweater on for about 2 days now. I've been in bum, stay in the house mode, just chilling, sitting on that couch over there for extended amounts of times, hours upon hours upon hours.
Did you pick up any new hobbies in your time spending inside or
No, all the same. All
all
the
the same?
same. I'm the exact same person I was like 4 days ago when they started.
Yeah,
Probably just a little bit more mustier, beard a little bit more scrappier, and that's it.
I know, man, and I occasionally love to go out and get a Taco Bell run or a McDonald's run, and those aren't capable in this kind of weather. So
But, yeah,
it's a life's just changed when you're
that's
not
what
able to
keeps
go
you
outside.
alive. Just going outside, touching that grass for real. Man,
We might not see grass for a couple days.
next time
All
we
that
see
time.
grass, it might be springtime.
It might be. It might take a while for all this to melt, especially with how cold it is outside. But one good thing about staying inside during snowstorms is we got to watch football.
We did. We did. So that's all I've been doing. My football intake has definitely just increased and increased these past 2 or 3 weeks because we're running out of time, man. We're running out of time.
I know I'm getting really sad noticing that the time of NFL football is coming to an end, and so is college football with the semifinals, the national championship being played here in the next couple weeks too. But one of those games that we got to watch while stuck inside was a fantastic one, at least for the first half, and then it got out of hand. But of course, I'm talking about the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. What a game! What a Week 18 matchup, fighting for a 1 seed in the NFC, which is also crazy. This is a whole nother topic, but it's also crazy that Minnesota, despite how well they played all season long, is going to be a 5 seed.
That's the beautiful thing about the NFL. That's what makes it unique, and what's different about all the other professional leagues. Divisions matter. The NFL, and they didn't win their division, so I
Nope.
like stuff like that. I
Yeah,
heard some people that are opposed to, I guess, penalizing a team that good. Well, that's what makes it different from, I guess, college football where it's rankings. No, you didn't win your division, so you got to play on the road.
I mean, you can't really complain too much either for the Vikings. I mean, the Lions went out and won it, and they have 12 plus players on injured reserve just on one side of the ball. And so, yeah, there's really no reason to complain too much. But 31-9 was the final score. It was way closer than what that score predicted first half, and then it got out of hand. But I think, at least for me, and I'll start off by saying this. This is kind of the big overall arcing question, at least with this game. Because here's my biggest thing going into it. Was Sam Darnold, before going into the game and then taking playoffs, was Sam Darnold to be trusted enough? Could we trust Sam Darnold enough? We saw 17 weeks of his play, mostly highs, couple lows, but mostly highs. But the one time, and I said too, I did not trust Darnold. I still don't. Didn't before this game, don't after the game. But I think this proves it in a situation, the most playoff-like situation you can get in the regular season, and he folds.
He did. He just
So
folded. I think that was probably from my knowledge, that's the biggest game that he's probably ever played, and he pooped his pants. And
that's what
it
I'm saying.
wasn't like there were other things holding him back. There were literally throws that he just missed. He just missed
Yep,
throws.
missed him.
Touchdown, like that's touchdown. That's a touchdown. And he just missed them. I think that if it came down to where they just didn't have a game-winning drive, that'd be different. But he just flat out missed open to semi-wide open receivers.
Missing 6 straight passes in the red zone at that one point. Just completed only 44% of his passes. Darnold did. In contrast, Goff was 81% completion rate 81% completion rate, 117.8 passer rating. Darnold had a 17.4 QBR.
That's
And like I
bad.
said, the red zone it was terrible. The red zone play from the Vikings was terrible. Darnold was overthrowing people, and it was because of that rush too that Detroit was bringing. And so Darnold had no time to read. He was 48.9% of his dropbacks were pressured. He couldn't convert in the red zone. He was trying to get Jefferson, and that's another thing. Where were your star players at, Minnesota? Where was
I mean,
Hawkinson?
I mean, they
Where was
tried.
Addison? Where was Jefferson?
They couldn't get the ball. There's that one possession in the
Against a defense that has 12 plus guys on injured reserve.
They got to get the ball in their hand. I mean, that one possession in the first half, I think they literally tried to throw the ball to Justin Jefferson 3 plays in a row, and nothing happened. Like, that is crazy. I mean, I guess they tried. I think that's a bit of coaching too. I just think at some point in the game, I get you're playing the Lions, they're aggressive, and they go for it on 4th down. Just take your 3. Take your 3 points and be grateful, because your defense, you don't have a bad defense. Trust your defense to take the 3 points. I think they're a little bit overly aggressive too far into the game once they realized that he was playing bad. If he's playing bad, that's fine. Just act that way. Don't act like he's a quarterback that he's not, or at least that he's not playing like in that game.
Well, it was so bland. I mean, the Lions literally had them boxed up. The Vikings could not do anything. When they were down, they couldn't go downfield. They could not physically pass downfield. They had no passing attempts over 20 yards in that game. They could not get the ball down the field. So they had to go side to side. Well, that wasn't working, especially when you're down. You can't get explosive plays. They have you locked up. You're going side to side. Your play calling is so bland because, like you said, if Darnold's not looking good and it's not hot, he's not one of those quarterbacks that, you have to play down to, or you have to make it simpler for him if he's struggling at that point. Well, that's going side to side. Well, you're not going to do anything in that scenario. Your star players aren't getting the ball. It's just, I can't trust Darnold in the playoffs.
No.
And if you want to ask, well, can we trust Goff? I mean, Goff threw 5 picks this year, Calvin. That's fair. He did in a game. Also, though, to go up, I believe it was either 2 or 3 scores. It was I do remember it was the 9th drive of the game. They let Goff go and do Goff things. 114. A 14-yard pass to Jamar Gibbs to start the drive. Then he had the 11-yard pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown to maintain momentum. Then he had a 12-yard pass to Jameson Williams, showcasing his ability to exploit mismatches. And then that set up the Gibbs 13-yard touchdown run because you're passing all that time. And then right after that, I mean, game's put away. So when you needed the game put away, 3 straight times you're letting Goff just pass down the field. They knew that. Once again, I'm trusting Goff way more than I can trust Darnold. It was proven in this game. I just don't like Minnesota's chances now being the 5 seed, having to go against the Rams. We'll get into that more deeply here in a second, but I really think them not winning this game really hurt their chances of going far in the playoffs, because you would have had that bye if you win this one.
I agree. I think I seen earlier today that if you're a 1 seed, you have a 50% chance of making it to the Super Bowl, which that alone is just odds are so much in your favor. Now the Vikings are going to have to play on the road. Just not a good look. And just in general, I just think that, like we were talking about the Lions, their game plan was pretty simple. Let's just blitz Sam Darnold. Let's just blitz him. And all of the great quarterbacks, if you blitz them, you're going to pay the price. Blitzing, like, if you blitz Mahomes, he's just going to hit the open man. If you blitz Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they'll just make a play. He could make any plays. And I think that's just going to be to their downfall. Eventually, another team's going to say the same thing. Hey, let's just blitz Sam Darnold and see what he does. And then out of, what does it take? Wildcard, divisional, NFC conference, Super Bowl. Out of those 4 games, if you wrote out that same game plan, you're going to be right 1 of the 4 times. Probably more out of the 4 times. So, the Vikings are probably cooked, and Sam Darnold probably just lost himself X amount of millions of dollars, because if he ever asks for a high amount of money, I will show him that game and say, well, no.
Yep, you would show him these 2 games. And honestly, in a way, I don't think Vikings fans might feel this way right at first, but this might be your way of saying, all right, Darnold actually isn't the guy for us.
Yeah.
They're in this situation of, do we pay him and keep him when we got JJ? Do we, try to keep developing JJ? Do we let him go and keep Darnold? This, I think, is going to make that situation a little easier depending on the outcome. Now, if Darnold goes out there and wins against the Rams and then even picks up another one, but even if he gets a win against the
I
Rams,
think,
I think
if he can win one game, that's good enough to sign him. I think if he win one game is good enough, and then if you're competitive in the next one, you're gravy. But if they go out against the Rams and get smacked, Sam Darnold, you are a Raider.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, because Kirk Cousins has one playoff win with the Vikings.
Yep.
So if you were gonna give him all that money, might as well give Darnold all that money too.
I promise you, that's really how I feel like these NFL teams think. They're just giving out free bread to a quarterback.
Well, when it comes to quarterbacks, 100%. Yeah, it really is going to come down to, A, if Darnold wins a playoff game this year, and 2, just what McCarthy, because we'll see what he could look like coming off the injury and just preseason and off season, I guess I should say, not preseason, off season, and just kind of see what he can do and maybe make a decision there. But yeah, the timetable isn't really on their side, so they got to make a decision here quick. But we're talking quarterbacks, and Goff played a great game. Don't get me wrong, and Darnold did not. But the real person we should be talking about is Gibbs. Man, what a game! 170 all-purpose yards, 4 touchdowns total.
He's a beast. They're going to get David Montgomery back too, which, I mean, that just solidifies the best backfield in the NFL. Actually, that's the second best backfield in the NFL. First best is Lamar and Derrick Henry. But anyways, second best backfield in the NFL. They're this elite. You know what they call him? Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic Knuckles.
Gibbs is just, he's your all. He can catch it. He can run it. He's fast. And Montgomery, 3rd and 1.
Yep.
4th and 2. He's going to get those yards every time. He's just going to put his head down. My fantasy team missed him. He was a beast, a reliable 25 points every week.
It's a dynamic duo. Then that defense, I mean, like we said, they're injured, but Alex Anzalone coming back, that was huge for them for the linebacking core. Robertson, his coverage on Jefferson, fantastic.
Oh, he was playing terrific. He actually made plays on the ball. Like, he had to go in there, make a play on the ball.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Jefferson only had 3 receptions, 54 yards, second lowest total this season. So, and once again, that's against a depleted Lions defense. So,
I mean,
go ahead.
The Lions are getting lucky. They're not, I'm going to say lucky. They are blessed with the fact that they are in the NFC, and none of these quarterbacks are that good to exploit this bad defense, because Joe Burrow is really good and their offense is really good, but his defense sucks. And they just play. In the AFC, you can't, if you have a bad defense, you just lost. It's over. There's no way you could beat Josh Allen, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, because the quarterbacks can turn it on so quickly.
Yeah, they're just gonna make a play. There is no, you can't put up backups against Josh Allen, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, even Joe Burrow. They're gonna cook that every time. In the NFC, there are guys who are not gonna. Sam Darnold, he's not cooking that every time. He's just not.
Think Jared Goff is one of the better, because you can make the argument that maybe Stafford, just overall legacy-wise, I guess, of what he's able to do. But I think out of that bunch that's coming into the playoffs, on the NFC side, I think Jared Goff is the more all-around, put-together, the guy I trust the most.
If I was Jared Goff, I'd feel confident of looking every NFC quarterback in their eyes and saying, "I'm better."
Yeah.
Why would you not? None of them have accomplished anything. You haven't. There's one wild card quarterback in the NFC though that, I don't know. He could do anything. I don't know.
I feel like I might know who, but go ahead and let me know.
It's Jalen Daniels. He literally, Madden, like, I don't know. I haven't played Madden a lot this year. You know how players have hidden potential?
Yep.
Like, he literally has hidden potential. He probably has an X factor. He probably does, but the things that he is doing for his team, literally heroic. Like, he's literally playing hero ball, and I think hero ball is scary.
Yeah,
because he might really put on a legendary performance. He might, probably will not, but there is a chance he could, because we've seen it multiple times.
Let's go ahead and jump into that one real quick here. Let's transition here. That was a good leeway into our next topic here. Let's look at, now that we know who's playing who. Let's talk about that, because that's one game that I really am scared to talk about or touch if I was betting on it as well, because I don't know. I don't know. I trust Daniels. I've seen him lead comebacks. I've seen him, make spectacular plays, put the team on his back. Something you don't really see rookies do all that often this season. But also I like Baker Mayfield. I like his receiving core. I like just what the Bucks can do and the experience they have in the playoffs compared to what the Commanders have. This is the game for me that was the toughest for me to try to decide a winner on. I'm not really sure which way I still want to lean, but this one's tough. This one's so tough.
I think it just depends on which Bucks you get. The Bucks they were in a battle last week with the Saints. Like, why? Why are you in a battle with the Saints? Like, why? But their peak is, their offense is so good when it clicks that they have the potential to beat almost any team in the NFC, just the offense alone. I don't know what I'm getting out of the Bucks, so I don't know either. I feel like with the Commanders, we know what we're going to – we have a pretty fair basis of what they can get. I think if it's down close in the fourth quarter, I'm going to take the Commanders. But if the Bucks come out and play their style of football immediately, I could see the Bucks winning by 12, 14, 10 points in this game.
Yep.
But if they let the Commanders stay around, I think Daniels is going to just do some heroic stuff.
Since we have to, I'll pick a winner here. I think it's going to be Bucks, but I think it's going to be close. It's probably a touchdown or less here in this one. It's going to be close. I'm going to go Bucks. But yeah, it really depends on what Bucks we're going to say. What Baker Mayfield are we going to get? Are we going to get the one that's smart, playing tough? Will run and get you a first down plus some with his legs, make the right throws? Or is he going to be the one that's going to just throw it up? He's going to have one or two costly mistakes that are just, you're scratching your head, or he's trying to force something. And then, let the Commanders get going. Because that's the biggest thing, is they can just go so quickly on offense. They can turn it up so quickly and just put up points. I'm going to get Bucks, but it's going to be close. I'm kind of feeling maybe a 3-point game.
That game could go to – I wouldn't be surprised if that's an overtime game.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Let's kind of go in order here from when they're played. Let's go Houston, Texans, and the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm gonna have to go Chargers on this one.
I want to go to I think the Chargers are gonna win, but I really do think it would be funny if the Justin Herbert can't win a playoff game narrative continues. I think that if I had to bet my money on it, I would want the Chargers to win. I would pick the Chargers to win. If I had $1 million, I'd bet them to win. Mm-hmm. But I kind of just want to see the Chargers just lose this game. I just kind of do. I don't know why. Because maybe it's just a hater in me, and I don't want to see any team in the AFC West succeed. But I think that'd be really funny if that narrative kept going. But the Chargers will most likely win because the Texans' offensive line is poop.
And it's just overall, just the offense hasn't looked that great.
Yeah, really. They got CJ Stroud playing scared.
CJ Stroud's playing scared. He hasn't looked that impressive. They won't have Diggs. He won't have Tank Dell. The Texans' defense, it struggles against the bounce attack of the Chargers. Chargers' defense is third in creating turnovers. We just mentioned the struggles of the recent offensive woes for the Texans. They're not moving me. And here's another thing: Texans not very good at home either. So
no. Well, the last time they were at home, they got absolutely embarrassed.
1-3 at home since November.
Wow. I think that if the Chargers can get out to a quick lead, they can get out 7-0, 3-7, 10-3. If they can get the lead first, there's no reason they can give the lead up. They just run the ball, play Jim Harbaugh football.
I'm thinking they probably get a pick or two as well. Yeah,
if they can get a turnover, get the lead early, and just bury the Texans, it'll be game. I can't see this Texans team. It's not their year. It's just not.
It's not.
It's just not. Sadly, they just did a bad job of protecting their quarterback, and now he's not playing well. the receiving core is gone. I mean, maybe if Nico Collins has a legacy game,
Yep.
potentially there could be some room, but I don't see it.
I mean, I get you have Mixon and whatnot, but they just have not looked
No,
impressive the past few weeks. So it doesn't really give me much, faith. Another game that I was kind of looking forward to, or at least thought it would be good if you were talking to me a handful of weeks ago. But now the Steelers and Ravens, this game is another snooze fest. It's starting to
I'm
look like
scared.
Ravens. I got Ravens in this one, and I'm not. I get their woes or troubles with the Steelers, just overall history wise, and with Lamar. Not last game, obviously, but just history wise, legacy wise, all this and that. But I'm not worried about this one. Ravens win this one pretty fairly, I think.
I'm gonna be honest. One, Russell Wilson starting in a playoff game, disgusting, nasty.
Yeah, he's not
Shouldn't be
magically going to
assisted.
turn into his old self now. Like,
No.
it's not going to happen. It's
No.
those days, those
Yeah.
dreams of holding on to that. It's gone. All that's
It's
gone.
no.
He's
Complete. No.
yeah. The offense is stale. He's stale.
You know what's crazy though? I really think that Russ really thinks he's about to go out there and
Oh yeah.
he's about to do
I
it the same way.
I guess if you're the Steelers, I guess you'd rather have your quarterback have confidence
Nah,
like that.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I think you're right in his mind. He's back on.
Which is I mean, I can't blame him for thinking that because I mean that's what I want to think too.
Yeah.
But I'm scared, man. I just need Lamar to win this game. I need him to. I can't have Russell Wilson beat Lamar Jackson in the playoff game in 2025.
That would not be good for the Lamar legacy.
Nah. No.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying from that standpoint, but dude, Lamar has just been playing too well. He's too confident right now. He's got it figured out.
And the Ravens defense, I can't see the Steelers offense. I can't see them doing anything against anybody's defense, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. It's
like it doesn't matter what team.
So
their offense is not good.
Well, and two, now here's the thing. Now here's where the Ravens could get in trouble because we saw it last year against the Chiefs. We all know as football fans, casual, the diehards, whatever. If you're just tuning into the NFL season, if you tune into the NFL season, at least for 2 Baltimore Ravens games, you would know Lamar Jackson is an MVP caliber player right now. We all get that. What I'm going with this is Ravens. We get it. Don't try to just have him do everything. You have Derrick Henry this year. Do not get away from using both. We get it. We've just because it's now a bigger stage, you don't have to have Lamar do it all now. Keep with the balanced attack. That's what's working. Last year against the Chiefs, they tried to have it all Lamar. Everything Lamar. Everything. They forgot they got away from their run game. And they lost. It's so easy to play against the Ravens when they only pass because you know what's coming. So that's the only thing that could come back and bite them in the butt is if they are worried about. I get it. He was in competition with Josh Allen for MVP. Regular season's done now, okay? So just go out there, try to get to the Super Bowl. Ravens we get it. You don't need to showcase Lamar anymore than what he has already been doing.
Right. I've found my way because I be, riding for Lamar every day, all day. That's just where I'm at.
Yep.
Just where I'm at. But I'm not on Ravens Twitter, but I just see a bunch of stuff Ravens fans post and all this, and they're like, "Who's the biggest threat to the Ravens reaching the Super Bowl?" And everybody in the mentions were just posting pictures of Harbaugh.
That's funny.
This is the biggest threat to us. And I'm like, that's probably true. Real. If you could just give the ball to Derrick Henry 20 times, you'll be fine. Just give it to him 20 times.
You'll be fine. And then let Lamar do everything else. If Lamar needs to take off, he'll take off. If he needs to make a pass, he's going to make a pass. He's only turned the ball over 4 times.
I honestly don't know why
he's not going to make a mistake.
Hey, first down, let's hand it off to Derrick Henry. Let's hand it off.
If you get just, like I said, 3-4 yards, he's going to get that for you. And then, yeah.
Just the idea of him running the ball, that's good enough. After you run it so much, oh man.
That's what I'm saying. The team should always be wondering what's coming next. Is Lamar going to run it now? Is it going to be Henry? Are they going to pass it? You know what I mean? Like, they should never be like, all right, here goes Lamar. They're going to try to keep throwing because they want. It should never come down to that.
No.
All right, I see you all decked out in your Broncos gear. Congratulations to the Broncos
Come on, man.
for
Let's
reaching the playoffs.
Let's go.
Exciting. It's going to be cut short though. They're playing against the Bills. This game will be closer than I think people expect. I don't think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm creating this narrative myself here.
No, you're not.
But
It's real.
I don't think Josh Allen's, at least not in the first half. Maybe after halftime adjustments, we'll see. I don't think so. But I don't think Josh Allen's going to be able to run away with this game. I don't think it's going to be like a 14, 17-point win. I don't, even with Bo Nix being a rookie and all this, and they haven't played in the playoffs since what, 2016, 15?
2016. Last time we were in, we won the Super Bowl.
There you go. That's something at least to look to. But, I think, too, and one reason I'm saying it'll be closer to is because, and I get it. Josh Allen, MVP, my MVP favorite this year. But, besides the point, he has trouble, or at least the Bills have struggled against man-to-man coverage this season. And Denver, good at man-to-man coverage with their secondary and who they have. So, I think that is going to keep it close. I just don't think Josh Allen's going to be able to just dice him up like we think he can with his arm. But just his ability to limit turnovers and stuff, I don't see the Bills doing too many costly mistakes. If this was the same Josh Allen who did costly turnovers the past couple of years, maybe you could try to talk me into Denver winning, or at least making it, very, really close to the end. But I got the Bills in this. But like I said, I think Denver keeps it close with their defense. But just like we saw with Joe Burrow, couldn't hold him. They lost to them. A lesser talent in Justin Herbert, excuse me, couldn't contain him in the end, lost to him too. So I think it's going to be the same thing. I think it's going to be a close game, but then Josh Allen will come through, the Bills will win in a close one. But I'd love to hear what you say, because you always somehow get me to think more highly of the Broncos than I truly do. So you can try to sway me if you want, but maybe you're realistic and know the Bills are going to get this one.
I thought about something like, usually I say something to Kyle, or every time I've talked to Kyle, he knows a lot about KU basketball. He loves that team. He's like, you know what? I've been watching this team for so long. I just know them, and I can know when they're going to win, and I know where they're going to lose. And I for real feel like the Broncos are about to win. The last people are like, you're about to go play in Buffalo. Well, last year, week 12, we went to Buffalo and we won in Buffalo. In Buffalo last year with a team that was not as good. I understand it's not the playoffs. I understand. But we have won in Buffalo. Sean Payton did it. He feels confident. We can get into our offense. I believe in our offense. The Bills' defense is solid. Not all class, all world. Bills' defense is solid. I fully feel confident with Bo Nix in there. I know he played the Chiefs backups last game. For playing backups, he played about as good as you could play, no exaggeration. The game before that, he played the Bengals. Understandably lost. Not kidding you. He balled out. Game-winning touchdowns. Threw it deep. Tud. He makes plays defensively. The Bills receiving court, it's okay. Cooper, Sharif, Coleman. A lot of these teams have been able to pick on the guy that PS2 is not guarding. Pick on Riley Moss. I honestly am not afraid of any Bills receiver. I'm not. Everybody talks about Josh Allen's MVP cases. Well, their team isn't as good as the Ravens. Lamar Jackson doesn't. Lamar Jackson has more weapons. Josh Allen doesn't have that many weapons. Bet he don't have that many weapons, and we're going to prove it. We're going to prove it. Maybe if James Cook kills us on the ground, I don't think he will. I don't think James Cook is going to kill us. If James Cook is your ultimate weapon, bet. Josh Allen, I think for him to beat us, he's going to have to put on a Superman performance. If it's a low-scoring game, that's also in our benefit. The only way to beat us, truly, high-scoring duel. And even then, back to that Chargers game, that's on Sean Payton. He had scary play calling. And I don't think he's going to have scary play calling in this game because we have nothing to lose. I genuinely think, like, the large percentage of my heart, that the Broncos are going to win this game. I would love that. That would be amazing.
Just don't think Bill. Sorry, excuse me. I'm messing up my names tonight, y'all. Bo Nix. Excuse me. I don't know why I said Bill. I just don't think Bo Nix is ready, man. Like
Why not? Why? How was he
I
at
think
this
he's gonna
point? How was he not ready?
I think he's gonna have a costly turnover. He's
All
just
right,
not quite there yet.
Calvin.
To take down the Bills
Out
first
of the
round, like
games
he's
we
not
have
quite
lost,
there yet.
out of the games we have lost, the last two games we've lost, they have not been his fault. We didn't lose. We didn't lose against the Bengals because of him. We didn't. He literally sent the game to overtime. 11 seconds left. Literally a legacy drive. You said we're gonna send it to OT. He make so I don't think you're right. He doesn't have the experience, but one thing about Bo Nix that I've seen this season is he makes plays. He makes plays.
Yeah, I mean he's not afraid to go out there and make. But that's what I'm saying.
And he doesn't necessarily he doesn't turn it over like that though. He doesn't turn it over like that.
He's better at handling the ball than I would say most rookies, or at least he doesn't really have a turnover problem. But even the past month, every other game he's had one or two. So it's just what are you going to see from him in a playoff setting? That's what I'm getting at. I'm basically agreeing with you in the sense that I think the Broncos defense is legit, and that man-to-man coverage against what the Bills can put out there is going to keep it close. I just think Bo Nix is going to make a mistake down the road in the
He
game.
probably will. He probably will. I think our defense is that good though.
That's what I'm saying though. It's going to be a close game. I just don't think they have. They're just that. It's great. This is the first step for Denver getting to the playoffs. They're just not ready to now win yet. But you got one checkpoint
I don't
off the
know.
list.
I think it could be. I think that one of these favorites have to lose. I also know that since
That's
NFL
fair.
has expanded
Maybe.
from 2 to 7, that historically the 7 seed usually gets absolutely pooped on.
Yeah.
But I just like our odds. Also, McDermott, Sean Payton. Sean Payton's the better coach. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach. You have the head coaching advantage. There is no way that we don't. The only thing definitively 1000% better that the Bills have is a quarterback. And they probably have that by a large margin. But I think in almost every other and running back, every other category, we're better in every other aspect. Every other aspect. Not another position that they're better in. Not a single one. We also lead the NFL in sacks. We lead the NFL in sacks. We're gonna get to Josh Allen 3 of the 4 times. Shit, maybe he'll fumble.
I mean, maybe he'll go back to his old ways here. I just think with his mobility and everything, it's gonna be a good game. I'll leave it at that before you try to change my mind again, and then I make a terrible decision picking the Broncos.
Think about this too. Think about how fun this would be. If the Broncos win, guess who they're playing next round? They play the Chiefs next round. The Chiefs next round.
It'd be fun. All right, let's go NFC. Eagles, Packers. Eagles win this one too. I wish this game was going to be more competitive, but Packers have no momentum going into this. No momentum. You suffer a terrible loss to the Bears last week, like just a heartbreaker. Terrible play calling at the end. You have the injury to Watson. Jordan Love he says he's going to play, but he has a hurt elbow. They're making costly mistakes too late in the season. Their defense, they struggle to consistently pressure opposing quarterback. It's just,
they don't beat good teams. They're gonna lose.
A deflated team. It's like this team just deflated right before the playoffs, and I don't have trust in them. I don't feel energized for this game. I don't feel the momentum. It's just I don't trust them. I don't think Jordan Love's been playing that good lately. I don't trust them.
No, they haven't beat a good team. They've lost to the Lions twice. They lost to the Packers twice. They lost to the Eagles. I mean, you're going to lose. Why would I think you're going to win this game on the road? The only reason they would win this game is if for some reason Jalen Hurts is more hurt than we know. But as we know now, he's going to be fine and he's going to play. So I think the Eagles are probably going to win in a big way, blowout fashion.
Yeah, I'm mentioning the Jordan Love injury, and I'm not bringing up Jalen Hurts also sustaining an injury, so people might be calling me out there for being a hypocrite or whatnot. But like I said, to me, in that scenario, Jordan Love is more impactful as a quarterback, being a quarterback, throwing the ball, than Jalen Hurts is. So it's nice to have Jalen Hurts out there, but as long as you have Barkley out there too, you're more, you're all right, is what
I
I'm kind of
agree.
getting
I
at.
mean, I think
I'm not taking away anything. You still want Jalen Hurts, obviously, at 100% or 90 or 80. You don't want him as a 40 or 50% and expect to win. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not taking any away from Jalen Hurts, but as long as he can just go out there, be, that 70, 80, probably more 80, hand the ball off, let Barkley do his thing, and then hit the occasional throw, or even occasionally do that big run or two that he always has. Yeah, that's all you need from him. You don't need him to be 100%, is what I'm getting
well,
at.
you just
So,
need Jalen Hurts to I guess is like a metaphor. Or, I think this is right. Jalen Hurts, all he has to do is he is on a vacation, and the vacation is a metaphor to the road to the Super Bowl. And all these people are in the car with him: Saquon, his coach, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, and they're all in the car. And all he has to do is just drive it straight, drive it straight.
yep.
Doesn't have to do anything. He has the GPS in. Maybe he might have to make a couple of bit stops. He doesn't have to do nothing crazy. Nothing. Hand it off to Barkley. Maybe hit AJ Brown on a couple of deep balls, and you'll probably make it to the NFC Championship,
And I think
which I think he can do. Which I think he can do.
Barkley just being held out there too and not getting that record, I think he's going to come out and really prove something in the playoffs as well.
Yeah,
I think he's a little ticked off about that. So,
Barkley's better than me. I'm coach. Let me play, man.
yeah, he's better than me too. The only thing that I could rebuttal that with, and I believe I want to give credit where credit is due on who said this. I want to say it was Mad Dog on First Take. But he said, okay, if you do that, if you were to start Barkley, then you probably have to start your whole offensive line as well. So you have to play those starters. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah,
basically, for him to play, you have to start other starters who you might not want to get hurt. So it's a whole team effort there at that case. So I still would let him go for the record, but that's me. But then, too, after A.J. Green got hurt last year for him in a game that meant nothing, obviously they're a
yeah.
little scared. So don't want, some bad juju or history to repeat itself. So I get that aspect too. Like I said, I would have let him try, but that's a whole different
I'll
story.
let him play the first quarter. Then, if you were going crazy, I'll let you keep playing. But
Yeah,
if not, I'm about to put you on the bench.
because he
And
needed
also,
101. You can
yeah,
probably get that in
I'll
three
be.
quarters.
Yeah, he could have. If they were spamming Saquon run, he could have got that.
Yeah, 2 or 3 quarters.
Easily.
You got that.
But I also think this record. I mean, it means something because it's a record. But the extra games, I mean, it does kind of
Yeah.
skew it.
I mean,
But at the
just
end
to
of the
have
day,
your
it's a
name
record.
attached to something.
Yeah, that's a
Because
crazy record. That's literally a lifetime achievement. You'll be remembered 100 years from now.
Because I mean, quarterback's really the only position where we're really judging rank. How many rings you have? Like a running back, that doesn't necessarily
Don't matter. Just
It
play
adds,
good.
definitely. It definitely adds, but it doesn't make or break you as the greatest of all time per se, running back wise. So having something like a record like that to your name would be huge. So not saying that Barkley can't be an all-time great now because he didn't get that record or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying to have your more games or not, just to have that record is still pretty impressive. Last game that because we talked about the Commanders already. Last game that we haven't talked about though, Minnesota and the Rams, and we kind of mentioned it, I guess, because we were talking earlier just about the game between the Lions and the Vikings. But I'm going Rams. Like I said, Ty, I think falling into that 5 spot for the Vikings has really killed any momentum they were going to have for this playoffs. I don't have confidence in Darnold after what I saw in that Week 18. People are going to be mad and saying, "Oh, Calvin, it's one game. How are you going to overreact?" Well, it was the one game that really mattered. It was for the 1 seed, and he did not show up. What makes now? Why would I trust that he's going to show up now in a playoff game, an actual playoff game, win or go home for sure now, not just for a 1 seed, win or go home. I don't. There's no trust in that. He was shut down. Darnold was shut down the last meeting between these two in the second half. They got to Darnold a bunch. What did we just say, Ty? If you rushing Darnold, obviously he's going to struggle. It's going to get to his head. He's going to start overthrowing. Puka and Stafford, and I just like the Rams. I love the Rams in this one.
I agree. I'm just thinking about it like this, very simply. Who do I trust more? Darnold, Addison, and Jettis, or Stafford, Cooper Cup, and Puka Nakua. And I'm going to take the
Yep.
Rams as well. I just think that trio right there, and Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams might be the most underrated running back in the NFL. and Sean McVay. I just think that they have they're good enough to win a playoff game. And as long as
They're good enough to win a
they're
playoff
just good
game,
enough to
and
win
that's
one
it.
playoff game. They just are. And just Sam Darnold just lost the biggest game of his career, and now he has to then again wake up and go play another biggest game of his career.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
And the odds of him
Darnold
coming
to do
through
that
are probably,
twice?
huh?
And can we? I mean, like I said,
No.
he has to do it again. And we saw what happened the first time. What makes you think all of a sudden he's just going to turn around and be magical?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I can't see it. It's crazy because if they would have won that game, I would legitimately said they have a great chance from going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But this is the way they lost too, because he looked not. I think it's over. I think it's over for the Vikings, and their season's going to be over in 6 days.
And you were bringing up who the Rams have and who the Vikings have offensively when you were saying Jefferson and Addison and all of them. The thing is here is we saw, and I'd make that argument that you could almost argue that is better besides Darnold and Stafford. Stafford's better, but you can almost make the sense that like Puka and Cooper Kupp, and Addison and Jefferson, like you can make that's two really good. But the fact that we just saw them get locked down by a depleted. And another thing is too, this is kind of my fault too, in this kind of narrative too. At some point, because I keep saying like a depleted Lions defense, 13 players on injured reserve, blah blah blah. They're just good. We're now in the playoffs. This isn't week 8, and we're still maybe this defense can hold up. They've held up all season.
I think they're good enough for their circumstance. They're good enough.
So I don't see the Vikings winning this one. I think the Rams, and like you said, I think it's one playoff win, and this is it. This is the playoff win that they could get.
Get that dub and on to the next one.
And like I said too, what really have the Vikings? They haven't. Here's their whole season schedule: Giants, 49ers, Texans. 3 teams right now, not very good. I mean, Texans, we know how they are right now. Packers, not very good. Then they played the Jets, not very good. Then they played the Lions, who they lost to. Then they played the Rams, who they lost to. Then they played the Colts, bad team. The Jags, bad team. The Titans, a bad team. The Bears, a bad team. The Cardinals, a bad team. The Falcons, a bad team. The Bears, again, a bad team. The Seahawks, a team that missed the playoffs, not necessarily bad, but not good. Packers, not very good, as I've already said. Then they played the Lions again and lost. Who have they beat? Who have they beat in the one team that they're going to go against?
A lot of those games they won. I think they have won the most one-score games this year. It's them or the Chiefs. If they're not number 1, they're number 2. A lot of those games were close. A lot of them were close. Could have went either way. I know the game against Seattle like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That was extremely close, and Sam Darnold balled out. So they're done. And they had a great season. Nobody expected them to go on the run they did.
Nope.
And
honestly, they were projected 6.5 total wins.
It might be in their favor if this does happen. And if they do lose due to Sam Darnold's play, might be a blessing in disguise, because if you give them all this money, expecting, let's say they make it to the NFC Championship, you're expecting, all right, NFC Championship is our bar. Sign this guy for a lot of money, lock him up for 4 years, trade away McCarthy. Now you got dacked.
No, for real. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the episode, but I agree. This is, if anything, and Vikings fans don't want me to say this, but if you do lose, now you know that probably Darnold's not your guy. You probably stick with McCarthy now, because Darnold, in one of the greatest seasons for the Vikings, he couldn't do it. And so what makes you think it's going to continue? It's one of those things. You brought him in. I would honestly franchise tag him. Only 6.5 wins. You're not really losing. And that's another thing. I'd be sad too, Viking fans. I'd be sad too if I lost first round. Here's another thing. Just be thankful in a so-and-so rebuild year, per se. You made the play. You were fighting for a 1 seed. All season, your team kept you involved. That's better than sitting on the couch every Sunday knowing you're going to lose.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
and you might save yourself millions of dollars with your quarterback.
Future's bright. Got a good coach. Their quarterback situation is a good situation to be in. You have 2 quarterbacks that one is a guy you drafted first round, and another one won you 14 games.
Yep.
It's not
Yeah,
that
and
bad.
like you said, Kevin O'Connell, he's good. He knows how to
He's a
work a
good coach.
quarterback. So if you do lose out on Darnold, JJ McCarthy's in good hands from what we've seen with. Like I said, you had Darnold, who was a struggling quarterback too. A lot of people wanted to write him off. You bring him in for a year.
But yeah, I mean, I could keep going on and on about this, but at the end of the day, I got the Rams.
Yep, I'll take the Rams in there as well. Honestly, if the Vikings won, I would be happy. I'm not gonna lie. This playoffs, sometimes I go in with a betting mindset. No, I'm going in with I want all the narratives I want to happen mindset. In this game, I don't really care. They don't fit none of my narratives. So if the Vikings did end up winning, I'd be happy. If the Rams win, I'll be happy. I just want to see a good game. Overtime. Let's go 50 to 49. I want to see a good game.
Yeah, that's all we can ask for. Well, that was episode 21 For What It's Worth, just going over NFL playoff matchups and what we saw from the Minnesota Vikings and Detroit Lions game. Tyrone Thornton with me tonight. No Eric Kilgren, but we hope to get him back sometime soon. If you don't follow us on any socials, you should go ahead and do that. I mean, we're on everything you can think of. Twitter, which is now known as X, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, anything that has video sharing, we are most likely on it. Just type in For What It's Worth podcast or try FWIW Sports Pod. Go ahead, follow, subscribe, turn on notifications, send the links to your friends. We really appreciate it. It helps grow the podcast. Big plans, hopefully, we have planned in the future for the playoffs. Maybe try to get a live stream or something going. That's still in the works. But we'll have coverage throughout the playoffs and what we see. Before I close it out, officially, Tyrone, anything you want to say?
One thing and one last thing to say. I might swear, but in that corner, whoa.
Whoa. Shout out to LeAngelo Ball, man.
Facts.
Oh, good stuff. But, yeah, good luck, Tyrone and the Broncos. Like I said, we'll be following all weekend long. But until then, I'm Calvin Silvers, once again, joined by Tyrone Thornton. Until next time, see you guys later.